Every perfection and flaw is going to be seen in the footage by the editor, so if you're editing your own footage, whether you directed it, shot it, or acted in it, you're going to learn all the little details that you need to know to help make a smooth edit. What up everybody, this is Scott Takai, and in today's video I'm going to be going over with you 9 different tips that you could apply to your filmmaking career in 2018. So these are going to be some things that I've learned either on my own or through the perspective of somebody else, but I feel that these are things that you don't normally learn unless you put a lot of time into it. So I'm going to get a more cliche tip out of the way first. This one is going to be not to focus on the gear. So having an expensive camera isn't going to automatically land you higher paying jobs. There's going to be a few exceptions to this, but most of the time what people are going to look for first is your reel. And if you have an expensive camera but you don't have a reel to show how experienced you are, you're going to look like a joke. And the only real way you're going to make money off the camera is if you go out there and shoot stuff and make a reel or renting out the camera. And I'm pretty sure you didn't buy the camera just to rent it out to people. Especially in the beginning of your career, most clients aren't going to be able to tell the difference between a consumer level and prosumer level camera. All they care about is that you're capable of capturing what they want captured. And when you work with clients that do want high-end cameras, the legitimate ones are going to have enough money in their budget to rent it out for you. You want to be the guy that gets hired because of his skill set, not because of his gear. My second tip is to say yes to all of the jobs that are offered to you, whether they are paying you or not. Saying yes to everything will help you learn faster and will help you network faster. If you're being asked to shoot something and you don't exactly feel like you're ready for it yet, you should say yes to it anyway, because you may realize that it was a lot easier than you thought it would be, and most importantly, you're gonna make mistakes that you can learn from. And say yes to something even if it doesn't exactly look like it's gonna be worth your time, because the people that you can possibly meet there may be capable of taking your career to the next level. So my third tip is to have a creative side hustle. It's very easy to get caught up in focusing on only making money and spending less time working on passion projects. Spending too much time working on things that you're not passionate about can eventually lead to you burning out and wanting to spend less and less time working on videos. Having a passion project or creative side hustle to work on will make you more excited to work on new things, and it will also help you appreciate your time more. And remember, when you only shoot for work, it eventually starts to be work. My next tip is to make sure that you take enough breaks. It's good to be in hustle mode, but when you work too much and you sleep too little, it eventually starts to catch up to you and has a negative effect on your body. It doesn't matter what you do when you take breaks, it just matters that you do something that you consider relaxing and you're away from work. And when you come back, it'll help you feel more relaxed and less stressed, and it'll help you think with a clearer mind. For me, when I take breaks, I like to go on little nature walks because the sound of nature just helps me declutter my mind, helps me focus more, and helps me think more in the present. My next tip is that it's more important to invest into people than it is to invest into gear. So if you have a lot of fancy gear that it could increase the production quality of your project, but not enough people working on it, then all of that gear is useless. Having expensive gear doesn't mean anything unless you have a team of people that know how to use it. The quality that you can get from working with a team of 5 is a lot more than what you can get from a team of 2. A lot of the things that I have worked on would not have been possible if I didn't have a solid team of people behind me working on it. And investing into people isn't a hard thing to do. It's just a matter of being a good human being. Pay people the amount of money that they deserve to earn. Show them that you appreciate what they're doing for you. Take them out and buy them a drink. Just show that you're appreciative of what that person is bringing to the table. Showing people that you appreciate them will make them feel good about themselves and will make them feel good about working with you. My 8th tip is that clients are a lot like relationships. You're gonna have the booty calls, the one night stands, the people that say they'll call you but end up not. Some will find someone else that they like better, and some of them will actually become a relationship. And just like any relationship, you have to put the work in to make sure that both sides are happy. And not all relationships are made to last. There's gonna be people that come and go, and then there's gonna be people that stay around for a while. And you never want to force something to work out. If something just isn't working out, then you need to know when to let it go. But the ones that decide to stick around, you want to make sure that you make them feel good about choosing you, and if they're not making you happy, then you have to know when to let that go. But the ones that end up working out, you want to make sure you show them some love and make them feel good for choosing you. I lost count of the tips now, but my next tip is to edit all of your videos. Whether you're a director or a cinematographer or even an actor, the amount of things that you can learn from editing your own footage footage is invaluable. For me, I wanted to try to be that guy that only shot and didn't really edit, but things didn't really work out that way, so pretty much everything that I shot I ended up editing, but it ended up being a blessing in disguise because everything that I worked on from the beginning and even until now, I was able to see all of the mistakes that I made in my footage, and I was able to creatively come up with ways to solve them. Especially in the beginning of your career, you really want to edit all of the footage that you come out in. It may not be possible every single time, but every time that you get the opportunity to, I suggest that you take it. Every perfection and flaw is going to be seen in the footage by the editor, so if you're editing your own footage, whether you directed it, shot it, or acted in it, you're going to learn all the little details that you need to know to help make a smooth edit. If you mess up on something and you're the one editing your footage, it's up to you to figure out how to fix the problems, and fixing those problems will also teach you how to avoid them in the future. My next tip is to not undervalue your work. In the beginning of your career, you're gonna have to take whatever you can get, whether it's paying you or not, just to help you get ahead. And if you keep doing that, you're eventually gonna get to this point where you've accumulated so much knowledge that you're no longer worth the small amount of money that you used to work for. If you continue to be too nice or too cheap with people, they will take advantage of you. And as much as you would like to believe that everyone is a good person, the reality is, in this world, there are so many shady people out there. There are so many people that are willing to take advantage of the nice guys. There are so many people that are willing to take advantage of favors and cheap prices. If you continue to grow and grow, but you also continue to undervalue your work, people will also undervalue you. Underpricing your work is gonna attract clients that aren't willing to pay a lot of money, so naturally they come to you because you happen to be the cheapest. If you want to continue to grow in this, then you have to be ready to drop some of the lower paying jobs and the lower paying clients, and when you do that, you're leaving this old chapter of your career behind and starting a new one, and you're creating new opportunities for yourself and meeting new people that will take your work more seriously. You're gonna hear a lot of excuses from people like, oh, I don't have money on this one, but I could pay you more on the next one, or I'll pay you when the job is done, or I don't have a lot of money, but I can give you some exposure. These are all things that when you hear them, you should have your guard up, because it's a reason for people to postpone paying you because they don't have the money, or to get you to do the work when they don't have the money. The reality is there are a lot of shady people out there that are willing to say whatever they need to say to get exactly what they want. So to help avoid these situations, if you ever hear people saying the phrases that I said earlier, I'm not saying to disregard them, but to have your guard up, because that might be what they're up to. One of the things you can do to avoid this is have a contract for them that states everything that you're willing to do and for how much. And the reason why it's important to ask for a down payment is because you don't want to do some pre-production work just to have it canceled and you end up wasting your time. At least with a down payment, if you do some pre-pro work and it ends up getting canceled, at least you didn't completely waste your time. And when you're sending an edit to a client, you always want to make sure that you watermark it. Don't listen to their sob stories or excuses. They're gonna say stuff like, oh, the watermark's too distracting, I can't actually watch it, or oh, I don't have the money right now, or oh, I don't know if you're gonna actually follow through on your end of the deal. It's just a way to convince you to give it to them unwatermarked. And don't feel bad about not giving them the work unwatermarked despite all the excuses that they come up with. People are always going to come up with excuses on why you should do things their way, even if it doesn't benefit you. And my response to that is just stand your ground, and if you end up losing a working relationship because of stupid stuff like that, then they're not the type of person that you want to be working with anyway. And my final tip, which I feel is one of the most important tips, is to find a mentor. The things that took them years to learn could be passed on to you within minutes. And to do this, just Google production companies that are in your area, email them, call them, text them, whatever, and offer to intern for them. And I think you get the most benefit out of this when you intern for smaller companies, because smaller companies tend to be more understaffed. So if you come in hungry to learn, then they're going to be teaching you everything, because there's going to be multiple positions that need to be filled. And since you're going to be working in that type of environment, you're going to grow a lot faster. And working with bigger companies, they're most likely just going to be having you working on just one thing, while smaller companies want you to be working on multiple things. So that is it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and you apply these tips to your filmmaking career in 2018. And if you like this video, be sure to check out my other ones, because I make plenty more just like this one. And I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys later.